la la. Met this girl late last year. She said, don't you worry if I disappear. Told her I'm not really looking for another mistake. Called an old friend begging that the trouble could wait. Then I jumped right in, a week later returned. I reckon she was only looking for a lover to burn. Made it time for 2 or 3 nights. Then I put it on hold till the moment was right. I went away for months until our paths crossed again. She said, I was never looking for a friend. Maybe you should swing by my room around 10. Maybe bring a lemon and a bottle of gin. We'll be in between the sheets till the late a.m. Baby, if you wanted me, you should have just said. She's singing, I don't with my love. This heart is so cold, all over my own. I don't wanna know that, babe. I don't with my love. I told her she knows. Take aim and reload. I don't wanna know that, babe. A couple of weeks, I only want to see her. We drink away the days with the takeaway pizza. Or a text message was the only way to reach her. Now she's staying at my place. Love the way I treat her. Singing out Aretha all over the tracks like a feature. Never wants to sleep, I guess that I don't want to either. But me and her make money the same way. 4 cities, 2 planes the same day. Those shows were never what it's about. Maybe we can go together and just figure it out. I'd rather put on a film and sit with her on a couch. We should get on a plane or we'll be missing it now. I wish I'd written it down the way that things played out. When she was kissing him, how I was confused about. She's gotta figure it out as I'm sat here singing, I don't with my love. This heart is so cold, all over my own. I don't wanna know that, babe. I don't with my love. I told her she knows. Take aim and reload. I don't wanna know that, babe. La la. On my hotel door, I don't even know if she knows what for. She was crying on my shoulder. I already told her, trust and respect is what we do this for. I never intended to be next, but you didn't have to take him to bed, that's all. And I never saw him as a threat until you disappeared with him to have sex, of course. It's not like we were both on tour. We were staying on the same effing hotel floor. And I wasn't looking for a promise or commitment, but it was never just for fun, and I thought that you were different. This is not the way to realize what you wanted. It's a bit too much, too late, if I'm honest. And all this time, God knows I'm singing, don't with my love. This heart is so cold, all over my own. I don't wanna know that, babe. I don't with my love. I told her she knows. Take aim and reload. I don't wanna know that, babe. I don't with my love. These girls ain't loyal, all over my own. I don't wanna know that, babe. I don't with my love. These girls ain't loyal, all over my own. I don't wanna know that, babe. La la. Hey, Karoo and Silent Nikki. It is Sunday, the 8th of March, and I thought I'd make a quick video. Nikki, we're in the middle of our fast. Baha'is do this. I'm sure we've talked about this in other videos and in person, but we fast between the 2nd and the 20th of March from sunrise to sunset. So this is the 7th day of the fast, as you can count that since I already told you what day it is and when we fast. So and you're an engineer, so you have a calculator, I assume. Yeah, so it's been I've been busy. I played a gig the Saturday before fast. Actually, we went up on Thursday to Linda and Brad's place up outside of Colfax and had an Yamiha party up there, and I actually played a bunch of hidden words at that party for Moscow Pullman Baha'i community. I got to see Marshall, which was fun, hang out with him and among lots of other people. And we had a good time, but we came home Saturday, and then we had a potluck at our house Saturday at like 5, and then we had I had a gig from 9 to midnight, and it was actually really fun. It was an audience that appreciated what I was doing, and I actually made like $107 in tips, which was pretty cool. So I was busy doing that, and then Monday I started working on this Atlas project again. And, I worked, I don't know, like 25 hours this last week on it, and I reproduced, went in and made a whole bunch of changes to the maps, and then printed them out, and we went through and checked them with Bobby and Jen, and it was a lot of fun. But I actually wanted to talk. So yeah, I've been really busy, which has been good. And then during the fast, I find in the afternoons I'm toast. I have very little energy and I can't focus, probably because I have no nutrients in my bloodstream. So I haven't been doing a lot in the afternoon. So I started watching. Well, I after my gig, I thought, I want to learn some new music. And so I'd heard stuff about Ed Sheeran, which I'm sure, Nikki, at least you've heard of. Crew, you may well have heard of from your staff, because you don't listen to music on your own now. Anyway, so I thought I'll look at Ed Sheeran. I mean, he seemed kind of interesting from a distance, and I'd heard just his song from the Hobbit film, which I didn't actually really like that much. I mean, it's nice melodically, but it's just kind of a blah. It's I feel like it's sort of an empty song. But anyway, but so I started, listening to his stuff, and I actually bought one of his albums and his latest one, and then started watching YouTube videos of him. And man, he's an incredible musician. He's really cool. So I've been completely geeking out on Ed Sheeran for the last week. I've been watching his videos, listening to his music, and actually the song you watched before this is one of his songs from his new album that I've learned to play. And actually it took me almost all week to learn it, because there's so many lyrics and it's a style I'm not really familiar with, with the kind of pitter-patter rappy type thing. And actually, usually when I learn a song, there's more space in the song, so if you mess up the lyrics, you can still kind of keep going. But I had to go kind of phrase by phrase and figure out. And even when I did this, I know I made some mistakes. I was just like a one take thing, so I know I screwed up some parts of it. But regardless of all that, found it fascinating to listen to his stuff. And actually, as I told Sarah, the thing that I find interesting when I find a person that I find compelling is like their process. And Ed Sheeran actually is very open about his process. And I'm probably going to get this wrong, but my understanding is that when he turned 16, he basically moved to London, and he didn't really have a place to stay. I think he initially had a place to stay, but then he quickly became sort of homeless, and he gigged and he busked and he couch surfed, and he said that he would basically bum places to stay at his shows, and he would do 2 or 3 shows a day on a regular basis. So he spent years doing that, and then made CDs. And he's a very likable guy. He's very nice to everybody. I think his parents are well educated, and he's well spoken. But he spent all that time doing drugs and sleeping around and just being crazy and getting wasted, but working very, very hard. And he seems like he's very committed to becoming a superstar, which I found really interesting, because like at this time in my life, I can't imagine wanting to be a superstar. I can't. I mean, it would. I just can't imagine that kind of life. And it's when I think about like Sarah's success with writing, she makes enough money for us to get by, and that's and she does what she likes to do every day. And and he was talking about how he's really competitive, and he's strategized how he's going to release his albums and all this stuff, and what he has to do to break it in America and to get famous various places. And he wants his second album, he wants to be so big that he's already released it and it has been this big, that he can play stadiums, and he's set for life, and he can tour, and so I just found that fascinating, because I'm like, dude, if you're smart with your money, and he actually talked about how he's been very careful with his money. He doesn't drive. He never learned to drive, and he doesn't own a car. He's basically got some pieces of property and buys watches, I think, or something, and nice guitars. Anyway, it's fascinating that he was so kind of, he's worked very, very hard. And he does his shows. Oh, the other thing I find really compelling is that he does his shows with just him and his guitar and a loop pedal. And so I started looking into looper pedals, and I'm gonna have to get a looper system, because I really want to. I find that really compelling as well. I think it would be really fun to play around with, and I think for my gigs, it would be pretty cool. I could pretty easily probably add a lot to my gigs just by getting a looper pedal and learning to use it well. And I don't think it's clearly not as easy as he makes it look, but I don't think, I wouldn't have to be, I'm a crappy guitar player, so I could be a crappy operator of a loop pedal and it would still might be okay. Anyway, if you haven't heard his stuff, check it out. That's all I got. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I look forward to talking to you both sometime in the not too distant future. Boop.